What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple system that can generate you invoices and proposals for your leads. It's going to be able to connect to a database on Airtable, look at all the information on your leads and then either create you an invoice or a proposal depending on what the status of that lead is. I just want to mention as well that all the templates I use in this video will be available on my new platform Commoners. It's a platform made by me that allows anyone to share and download AI templates for completely free. So I'll leave the link in the description for you to be able to download this template off of Commoners, and while you're there you can have a look around at all the other templates on there and maybe even add your own templates to help promote your agency. If you've never seen me before, my name's Rory Ridges and I help business owners to integrate AI agent systems into their businesses. So if that's something you might be interested in, then I've left a link to my website in the description. You can go ahead and book in a call with me, or you can just fill out the contact form. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the video and I can show you how it all works. Okay, so in this video we're going to be using Airtable, Make.com and then Google Doc. And a lot of you would have obviously used Google Docs before. If you haven't used Make.com before, what it is, it's just a automation platform. It's really simple, has these nice user interfaces. With these different nodes, you can connect to a bunch of different softwares. And if you've never used Airtable before, basically what it is a place for you to create custom databases. And in this video, we're using it as sort of a CRM type thing to be able to store our lead data in here. So if we actually look at the table I've made on Airtable, you can see we have names, company website, email address, client address, notes, proposed solution, the status, and then the last modified column. So quite a few different data points. We have 10 different fake leads in here. This is just demo data. And basically, to give you an overview of this scenario, what's going to happen is we have all of our lead data in here. So as I said, the name, the company name, the website, email address, the address, the notes, the proposed solution, and then here we have the status, and this is just going to be the status of this lead. So we have a few different options. We have new, contacted, lost, proposal, or won. And new and contacted, pretty self-explanatory. When a new lead comes in, that's going to be labeled as new. When you get in touch with them, maybe that's via email, maybe you hop on a call with them, that's going to be contacted. If you lose the lead for whatever reason, then that's going to be lost. The proposal is going to be the stage where you're ready to send off a proposal to this lead. And then one is where the lead actually decides to go ahead on whatever the proposed solution was and you sign a deal with them. So if we have a look at the Make.com scenario, you can see basically how this works. So we have one node here that's going to watch the Airtable database, and every single time this status is updated, it's going to trigger this scenario. And then based on whether it's one or proposal, it's going to go one of these ways. So proposal is going to go this way, one is going to go this way. And then what happens from there is we use some LLM steps to extract some data points, and then we put all of this data into a template on Google Docs, just replacing some of the variables. We then download that document as a PDF, and then we then send that off to the client. So quite simple. I'm going to give you a bit more of an in-depth look at each of these nodes here. If we start with the Airtable one, all we've done is we've just connected it up to our database. So demo lead data, the table is lead data. And then this is an important thing, you have to have a trigger field. So that's why we have this last modified column here, because that's what's going to trigger the Airtable database when the last modified is updated. So when you change any of these things, but we're going to use it for the status. When the status is changed, it will change the last modified date and time. That's going to trigger this scenario. The limit I've just put to 10, doesn't really matter. We're going to be passing through one piece of information at a time. So you can kind of set this to whatever you like, and then you can leave the rest of it. And what we're going to get through there is it's just going to return all of the columns for the row that was last updated. So if we change the status from contacted to proposal, for instance, you can see this updates to 239, and then it would just trigger the Make.com scenario with all of these different data points for Emily Johnson. So quite simple. That triggers the Make.com scenario. We have a filter here just to make sure that the status is either a proposal or one, because if the status is changed to something else, then we don't need this scenario. So it just basically filters out all of that. We then have a router step, which will send the data either to the invoice part or the proposal part. So we'll have a look at the proposal part first. We should have a simple filter here to make sure that the status is proposal. You can see these are all the different data points that we get through. We just put in status and we make sure that that is proposal. If it's not proposal, then it won't go this way, it'll go the other way. So first of all, we just have an LLM step here. And basically what this does is it looks through the proposed solution cell and it extracts just the price from it. So you can see it's a very simple prompt. I want you to look through this data on a proposed solution and then output the price. Output only the price and nothing else, no explanation or summary. And then here I've given it the data. I'll show you an example of the data just so you sort of know what I'm talking about. If we look at the proposed solution, this is an example of one. So I've done it for an AI automation agency. I thought that would be fitting. So custom AI workflow system, and then it's giving us sort of a little breakdown of what this solution is. And then it gives us the price here, and then also the time frame. So we're just using this LLM step to just output the price, because we're going to need that in a second. And then we have another LLM step here, which does the exact same thing, except it just extracts the time frame and will just output the time frame. So this may just look something like 2 to 4 weeks or a month, whatever it may be. You can see the prompt is pretty much the exact same, but we're getting it to output the time frame rather than the price. And then we have a create document from a template. And what this basically does is we create a template for a proposal on Google Docs, and then we add in variables, and then we put in the variables from the scenario into that doc. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the template that we've made on Google Docs. As you can see, we have these variables here. You enclose them in 2 of these curly brackets. That means that Google Docs can pick that up as a variable. So prepared for, the client name, the company, it's going to be the company. Prepared by, it's just going to be my name. The date is going to be the last modified column, because that is going to be the date that the status has been updated, which means that's the date that we're going to want on the proposal or the invoice. So we put that in there. The introduction, dear client name, again, it's given us a little breakdown here. The scope of the work, obviously this can all be completely customized. This is just an example. Proposed solution, we put in the proposed solution variable. The pricing, we put in the pricing variable. Time frame variable. And then a little client signature and the date that they signed it. And then again, we've used company name, and then we sign it off. So quite simple. But if we look on the make.com scenario, if we go into this, it has to be the create a document from a template. Obviously, you hook up that document that I just showed you. And then you can see here, we get the values. So client name, that's going to be this first one here. And then company name, it's going to be the company name variable, the proposal date, and then we just put in all of the variables that we've gotten from the step before. So the name, the company name, the last modified, and the proposed solution, that's all going to come from the Airtable step. And then the price and the time frame is just going to come from these 2 LLM steps before. So you can see 3 months and $15,000. We just put that in there. The title, we're going to save this as proposal, and then the company name. And then obviously you can put this in whatever folder you like. I've just done a random folder. And then we're just going to download the exact same document. Make sure for the document ID, you set it to map, and then you just put the document ID variable from the step before. And the reason we do this is because we want it as a PDF. So all that happens here is we download that document that we've made here, and then the type, we set it to PDF. This just means that we're going to get a PDF. And then a Gmail step here. The email address is going to be the email address that we got from the Airtable step, which is obviously going to be the email address of our client. The subject is going to be proposal, and the content, I've just said, hey, name. Find below the proposal for the project. You can do whatever you like. But then the attachments, we literally just click this button, which will just do the output from this step before, which is going to be that PDF with all the new variables in for our proposal template. So really, really simple. Again, the same thing, but this time we're doing it for an invoice. If we look the other way, so the condition, if the status is equal to 1, then it will go this way. This LLM step is doing the exact same thing as this one down here. It's just extracting the price. We don't need the time frame for an invoice. We only need the price. The price is quite important on the invoice. So this is just the exact same prompt. We just get it to look through the data that gets passed through of the proposed solution, and then output just the price for us. The exact same thing again. I'm going to show you the other template though for the invoice. So this is the template I put together for an invoice. So we've got an invoice number. You can set this to whatever you want. You can also do this as a variable, but I've just left it as this. The date is going to be the exact same thing from the proposal. It's going to be that last modified date. The bill to, we've got client name, company name, and then for this one we have the client address, which we didn't use for the proposal, but we need that on the invoice. Billed from, obviously this would just be you, and then the total cost, then we just put the price variable in. So really, really simple, exact same thing as a proposal, just with a different template and some slightly different variables. If we have a look again, we obviously hooked up that template to this Google Docs node. Invoice date, we put that as the last modified variable that we got from here. The client name is going to be name, company name, client address, and then the price is the result from the LLM step before this. And then image URLs, obviously not putting anything there. The title is just going to be invoice, and then the company name. New drive location, again, you can do literally anything you want. Google Docs, download a document, exact same thing again. We're going to map this, put the document ID from that step before, The type is going to be set to PDF, and then exact same thing, we're going to be emailing this over. We put in the email address. It's just going to be the email address that we get from this Airtable step here. The subject, invoice, hey, name, find the invoice attached below. And then make.com actually make it really easy for us. They let you just click one button and do the output from the step before, if the output from the step before outputs a file, which in our case, obviously it does, it outputs that PDF. So we just click that button and that is going to send the invoice as an attachment for that email. So quite a simple setup, but really effective and really handy. We're going to run this tool now so you can see how it all works. So for this one, the only one that we can actually run is going to be this top one, because it is the only one with a valid email address, which is my email address. So what we're going to do is we're going to set this to, let's say, from contacted to proposal. Let's hit that. We're going to manually run this so you can see how it all works, but obviously this would run autonomously in the background. Let's hit run. You can see this triggers and the status is proposal, so it goes through, and then the status is proposal again, so it goes through this way rather than through that way. The LLM step here, it outputs 15,000. The other LLM step here outputs 3 months. And then this Google dot step outputs, we can't see the actual doc here, but this is going to fill in the variables for the proposal template. This step here is going to download that proposal template with the variables filled in. And then this step here is going to send that to us via email. So this is what we just received, the proposal. Hey Rory Ridges, find below the proposal for the project. You can add more to that if you like, that's just what I've done. And then proposal for services, prepared for Rory Ridges, company Technova. This is just the demo data prepared by Rory Ridges. So it's obviously done for myself. So it wouldn't look like that on a normal proposal. The date, this is obviously the current date. This is going to be the exact date that we set this to proposal, which is nice. And then introduction, this is going to be the same for everyone. So we've got Dear Rory Ridges, scope of work, and then here we have the proposed solution. So a custom AI workflow system, automates repetitive tasks, integrates with existing software such as CRM, accounting, project management tools, includes API development and seamless cloud integration, The pricing, the total investment for this solution is going to be $15,000. The time frame, 3 months, next steps, yada yada. Client signature, date, best regards, Rory Ridges. So absolutely perfect. All we did was click literally one button on Airtable and it's automatically, pretty much instantly, sent us over this full proposal, which is really cool. So now we're going to do it again, but we're going to imagine that I looked at a proposal, I was really happy with it and wanted to go ahead. We're going to change this from proposal to one, and then if we come over to the make.com scenario again, let's hit run. You can see this time it goes that way, because the status equals 1. So this LLM step again, it's going to output the result of 15,000. This Google Docs is going to fill in the variables for the invoice template. This step is going to download it, and then this step should have emailed that over to us. So let's have a look. Yeah, as you can see, invoice, hey Rory Ridges, find the invoice attached below. Let's open this up, and then you can see invoice number. The date gives us the exact date, bill to Rory Ridges, Technova, 12 Greenway Crescent, London. Build from Rory Ridges autonomously, 123 Example Street, London, total cost 15,000. Obviously, you can add more to this. You can add Stripe links or any other form of payment link that you usually add to this. But this obviously just puts all of the data from your CRM or your Airtable database into one place, into an invoice, and sends it over. Of course, you can add more. You could have another step in your make.com scenario that just generates a Stripe link so that people can pay through the invoice, and then does that, sends that over in the invoice. You can do pretty much whatever you like. You can customize this as much as you want. And obviously the template is available for completely free on Commoners, so you can download it, play around with it, add some more steps, take some steps away, whatever you like to do to customize this. So that is it for the video. Not a very long one today, but I thought this scenario on make.com was super powerful, especially for those businesses that are sending out loads of different proposals and loads of invoices, and it's just a little bit too much to keep up with of actually sending this off to clients and make sure they went off and make sure they were received and everything like that. You can now manage that all from your Airtable database. I didn't mention this in the video, but you can do this from any CRM. So you could be doing this from HubSpot if that's what you use. I just use Airtable because I feel like it's a little bit more versatile. So yeah, as I said, please do check out the templates for this video so you can customize them, and give me your honest reviews on Commoners so far, because this is a brand new launch for the platform. So if there's any improvements that you'd like to see, if there's anything you think that's not quite right on there, please do just drop me an email, tell me, I'll try and get it fixed straight away, or try and add these new changes. Also, as I said at the start of the video, if you were looking to work with me so we can implement some AI agent systems into your businesses, then just check out the link in my bio. You can go ahead and book in a call with me on my website, or you can just fill out the contact form and I'll get back to you. But that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.